Welcome to the Xenos Product Suite Demo Series. Xenos designs, stores, and delivers high-volume print and electronic documents for top-tier organizations in financial services, insurance, telecommunications, and utilities.
In the last demo, we picked up an AFP file from a directory. We transformed it to PDF, and then we saved it in another directory so we could load it into an ECM system. We automated this process without the need for custom scripting or code. Going back to our bank statement example, this AFP contained multiple financial statements. Now we need to burst this out into individual financial statements to deliver to the end users, such as the bank's customers. Then we'll name these files based on information within the statement, such as the name and the account number. First, we will start by going into the document transformation AFP to PDF project we created last time and dragging on a few new components. One of the components we are using is what we call Xenos Field Technology, or XFT, for extracting information from the AFP. Next, we'll use the indexing component to pull in that information for naming as well as bursting the PDF. We will first go into the XFT to define the fields. We're going to start by creating a locator. We're going to search for page 1 of in the AFP, so we know this is the first page. And click OK. We will now add a main document. We'll create a header section and base it off the locator we just created so that this section will start when we see page 1 of. Now we will create a text field for the customer's name. So here's her name right here, April Black. Now, we create a text field for April's account number. If we look down the left-hand side here under XFT results, without running it, we can look at the results to make sure we're pulling the data that we want to pull. I see that I'm pulling April for her name, and also the correct account number. What I really want to do is pull the first name and last name, so I will just expand the name field, and we can see that we are pulling in the full name now, April Black. So we're done here. We'll close it and save it. Now we will set up the indexing component. This enables us to burst the file into individual documents. It also enables us to pull specific fields for naming purposes. So let's choose Document Breaking, which gives us two new tabs, one for breaking the document and one for document naming. Under the Document Breaking tab, we can see that we have several options for breaking of the document. We're going to choose to break on a field change. In this case, we will use account number. Now, go into the Document Naming tab so we can name these documents appropriately. So we'll choose the name and account number fields. So then we're finished with that. We then have to modify the PDF generator to use this new name instead of the generic output.pdf. Now, let's run it and view the output. We can see that we now have multiple PDFs, all with names and account numbers. We'll open a couple of them so we can make sure the name matches up with the content. So let's open up Andrea's statement. Okay, that looks pretty good. Now let's check out Belle's statement. This one looks pretty good too. I guess we're done. What we've just done is we've modified the AFP to PDF transformation to pull out the individual statements. We've named these individual statements based on the name and the account number. Now, we're going to modify the process flow to work with these individual statements. Otherwise, they just end up as a giant undivided statement again. Now, let's go back into the process flow. First, we'll create some room, then we'll go over into our component palette and drag on the XDoc splitter. The XDoc splitter enables us to work with each PDF individually. We'll rename this XDoc splitter so it makes sense for others viewing this process flow. I'll rename this Loop Through PDFs, so the next person who views this flow will know what it does. Let's move things around a bit on the flow screen and connect the final flow to the end. Let's go into the Write PDF process. We'll change the name on the file name to use the XDoc entry variable. This is a variable containing the name created within the earlier transformation. Now, let's click Execute the file event to run it. We can refresh the input directory and we will see that the file has been picked up because the extension is now _running. If we refresh it again, we will see it as completed. So now, if we refresh the output directory, we will see the statements are now created. Let's go into Windows Explorer to view the output directory and view the statements that we created. Now, let's open up a couple statements so we can see that the names are matched up with the information within those statements. So let's open up April's. That looks pretty good. And Cameron's? That one looks pretty good too. Okay, we're done. Let's save this and close it. What we have done here is taken a batch of bank statements and created individual statements for each of the bank's customers. We have done this by bursting the resulting PDF based on fields found within the AFP. In the next demo, we're going to route based on the file received to limit the possible errors encountered within the flow. We'll then set up some email notifications to confirm success or error. Like what you saw or have any questions? Feel free to email me, wdavis@actuate.com, or you can follow us on Twitter for our latest updates and news.